Hey guys, so this is just a really quick chat tutorial to help you guys bridge the gap between all of your lovely instrument work that you've already done in term one and taking that into something like an STC production where you're working with a text and you're rehearsing on the floor with your fellow actors and director. The point of all of this, the point of all of your instrument work is first and foremost to create a space where you are accessing more and more of your potential as an artist. Yep. So you're doing all these exercises, you're working with available stimulus like working off choices, you're working off each other as available stimulus as well, effectively to get you guys into a place where you're so much more engaged, you're so much more available, and you're so much more responsive. Now, when you're in those sorts of places, then you won't rely on a preconceived idea of how you should be or act. So that is the big thing, that you take the essence of all of your instrument work into your STCP. You're not coming from a preconceived idea of the way the scene should go when you're working. You're actually working moment to moment with your partner. Okay, so the point of the instrument work as well is that you can use the instrument work to get you into a deeper reality of what the character is experiencing. Again, when you get presented with a character, you've had no experience being this person. So these instrumental exercises and a couple of the craft exercises that we did towards the end of term are there to get you into practicing experiencing this character in these particular situations. So then it's believable. Okay, so a perfect example and perfect springboard from your instrument work into your craft with your STCP is working with choices. So once you've got your text, you identify what the relationship is, like we've already discussed in class, and you identify what the relationship is and you pick a choice which is going to satisfy that relationship, so a substitution. So you practice getting all those relational juices, all those behavioral juices out, talking to that choice, and then like you did at the end of last term, you switch into text. Now, again, the purpose of that is to find a reverence, so that when you switch into the text, you're allowing their impact to affect the way that you're saying the lines to them, rather than some sort of preconceived idea and trying to get the scene right, if that makes sense. So that's a perfect example of things that you can do from your instrument work that is going to take you into the place, the experiential place of the character. So another great example is if, say, you identified in the monologues that you were choosing or in the scene that you're doing with your STCP, you may identify that the character is frustrated. Yep. So again, we don't want to bring the character's experience down to our level of frustration. We want to actually heighten our instrument so that we get into the stakes of what our character is experiencing. Again, that stops us presuming what the character's experience is, and once we get into that experiential place, we can actually behave as a character. So obviously a really great thing that you can do is at home, because you can't normally do this in the rehearsal room, you can do a frustration exercise. So you do your frustration exercise, you get all those great frustration juices flowing, you find the range and versatility in that exercise, and then you go straight into the text. So again, you're not coming at it from your level of being state, you're trying to elevate yourself to the atmosphere of the character, or the atmosphere that the character is in. So you're elevating your being state to that of the character, and then you'll find that your work is much more effective. If you're already in that place of freedom and frustration, then the things that they're going to do are going to affect you far more significantly. Now, again, once you go into the scene, you don't keep focusing on being frustrated. You've already got that springboard, you've already got that experience that you're coming from, which gives you something to work from when you're reacting and responding with your partner. So these are really big things that you can actually integrate into your craft work, into your text work, with everything that you've learned so far. I think it's important also that you need to practice these things at home. So part of teaching you about all these exercises is actually so that you've got a language of exercises, you've got a toolkit of exercises that you can actually work the script on your own. You can't just think your way into the roles. Yep. So when you do the frustration exercise, and then maybe do the frustration exercise and then talk to your choice, would be a great way of getting all of those juices flowing. So then you're bringing more realism and more stakes into the scene rather than just playing out of an idea. Hey guys, this is just a couple of other things that will help you once you get into the rehearsal room to integrate all of that lovely preparation work that you're going to be doing for your SDCP. So like I said yesterday, you need to practice the choices, the experiential choices that you're making. So like doing a frustration abandonment, you need to practice so that you can make sure that you can get into that place super easily and super efficiently. The same when you're talking to your choice. So you talk to your choice, you do all of that rehearsal time on your own, speaking to the choice, getting all of those lovely relational behavioral juices flowing, so that then once you get into the room, you don't have to spend so much time trying to conjure it all up. Now, of course, this all is dependent on you getting into a being state to begin with, doing your personal inventory, identifying blocks, and tension so that you can release it, so that you can get into a place where you're effectively ready to work. So what I suggest is after you've done all your preparation work at home, which again should be thorough, and you're practicing, get into the rehearsals about 15-20 minutes earlier and practice just those triggers. So say if you're doing a frustration abandonment into talking to a choice, there'd just be a couple of things that would be significant about your frustration abandonment, some triggers that will get you into that place, and also triggers with your choice that will get you into that experiential and relational place, behavioral place really quickly. So there might be a couple of things that you say to that choice, or there might be a couple of things about the way that choice affects you that get you into that place really efficiently. So then you've already got that kind of muscle memory of being in that place, that level of engagement, which is consistent with the scene. Okay. Now, when it comes time to your rehearsal, often you don't have a lot of time to prepare for your turn, so you need to be ready to go. So again, once you've done those triggers before the rehearsal, 15-20 minutes beforehand, you can easily get back into that place of that level of engagement. Now, of course, when you're doing the scene, you're not still trying to make sure that you're seeing that person or conjure up frustration. Because you've already got those triggers that get you into that level of engagement, which is in the atmosphere of the scene, then you're much more available to discover. Now, that's a really important thing. This preparation is meant to get you into a place where you're much more susceptible to discovering what's happening moment to moment, not still working on your preparation whilst you're in the scene, when you're on the floor, working with the other actor. And then, of course, you can start integrating direction so that you're not holding on to the luggage of your preparation. You've gone, wow, this preparation has got me to this place. Now I can really freely react and respond because I can confidently say that I'm starting to get into the atmosphere of the scene. And of course, as the rehearsals go on, you will be getting more and more and more into the texture of the atmosphere of the scene in whatever that is. Cheers.